So I'm driving in morning traffic on a foggy morning here in Tallahassee, having just watched, Tim, your video on Whiplash. Very on point, very succinct. I really appreciate your active choice to be neutral. Because I know in myself, I feel a lot of like I built my career around Tableau. Tableau is the reason that I can do what I can do. I can live the life that I live here in this city, and not spending hours in a commute every week. And so I'm really indebted to what that original vision was, and I think a lot of people are. And so there's some sense of, I've heard people refer to it as, we keep going to the same funeral over and over again when we go to Tableau conference. And that's true. There is a mourning, a death of that, what it was from 2010 to 2019, for that 10-year stretch. It was a really special thing, and it felt like this is a product by analysts, for analysts, kind of a product of the people, because that was their direction. Like, that's how they grew, was, hey, somebody finds out about this cool tool called Tableau, and they show it to their manager, and they create great things, and then they build on that, and, the land and expand model. And that's very much driven by, like Tim, you said, product managers, because the decision, who they're trying to sell to and who they're trying to pitch to, is the analyst, because they're the one that's, they can buy whatever it was, an $800 license, and you're off to the races, and you can get going with just that. And so, yes, it was, when you think about a product, what's their North Star? Sentiment and customer delight and satisfaction and feature delivery. And so it was this constant cadence. I mean, you go back to maybe 2018 of that was kind of the pinnacle of, kind of for us, by us, a product of the people. And so that was a really special time. And I think all of us mourn the loss of that and are continuing to try and find where that is. And so now you switch to today, and I think there's two things that are happening. Yes, Salesforce is a whole different animal. And it's a company decision on how early you roll out those features, whether it's very early betas where you're trying to prove internally that there's desire for this feature, or the larger, going back to when it was just Tableau, when you're trying to surprise and delight and satisfy that frontline user's needs and fix their problems. Fundamentally, it's changed who they're selling to. They're selling to the CEO, the CTO, the CIO, whatever. They're selling to the C-suite now. And I think their approach and their tactic is different. They are trying to, just like with a feature release, they're trying to build this groundswell of support and show, hey, we rolled this thing out, listen to the applause, here's the feedback we got from customers when we do, a private showing of this feature. I think in the same way, that's what they're trying to do with why you have product marketers now. You're trying to get people to buy into the vision of where this product is going, so that they can do their internal battles to get the resources to build it and to bring it to completion. And so because the decisions are at that much higher level and they're not, kind of for the analyst, by the analyst, they are, like even who's doing the product demos. The one girl in the last several years that did them just specifically for Tableau, like she was an analyst. And now a lot of the time is Ryan Miller. Ryan, he's great. He does a great job presenting. But he's definitely more of a marketer. And so, the fundamental decision is like, no analyst is going to say, hey, let's go buy Salesforce. That's not the decision they get to make. And so that affects who is doing the presenting and how they present it. And so, I think that is the vibe that you get is, okay, this is about selling that big picture, about selling outcomes versus features, about selling efficiency over, solving the problem that we know is there, that we know that we as analysts face every day. And so it's this dissonance between, me in my role as an analyst, and I'm seeing these features that don't solve the core problem, but sure look nice. The other piece that is in no way Salesforce or Tableau's fault is this is the interface where we face the future, of an industry that is rapidly changing, that we hear and see these rapid advancements and changes coming, but yet we're still copying and pasting data. I'm still writing SQL. And so it's this cognitive dissonance between like what we've been told the future is going to be and what it should be and what we actually experience on a daily basis. And so some of that cannot and will not be changed and is not the responsibility of Salesforce. Like, it is huge, massive market changes that we don't have any control over that are coming, whether that be AI or whether that be all these other things related to our industry. And so I think that is where the whiplash comes from. It comes from, this is no longer our decision. It's no longer a product that is for us, by us. It's a product that is sold to us and given to us because it's made by somebody likely that a lot of the analyst community has never met. That is where that decision comes from. Those are my thoughts. Really appreciate the high quality content that you put out and keeping the voice of the community alive in whatever format that looks like. So thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.